Have you ever felt paralyzed, standing still while the whole world speeds past you? Have you ever lain awake in the dead of night, watching others celebrate their milestones on your screen, feeling a crushing weight settle on your chest? You see their victories. You see them standing where you dreamed of being, and you feel yourself being left behind. If you have known this silent struggle, this story is for you. For sometimes, life doesn't demand that you run faster. It invites you to go deeper. Once, in a valley surrounded by mist-covered mountains, on the edge of a town that was growing louder every day, there stood an old, humble wooden workshop. It had no neon signs. It had no loud machines roaring from morning until night. Inside, the air was always thick with the rich, warm scent of cedarwood, beeswax, and thyme. This was the sanctuary of a carpenter named Ethan. Ethan was a man of few words. His hands were rough, mapped with the scars of 1,000 cuts. His eyes were calm, like deep water. Ethan was not like the other builders in the town. While new companies used electric saws that screamed through timber in seconds, Ethan worked with his hands. He used chisels worn smooth by decades of use. He used hand planes that whispered as they shaved thin ribbons of wood. He would spend an entire morning just looking at a single piece of timber, respecting that the tree had taken 50 years to grow. People often stopped by his window. They watched him sanding the curve of a single chair leg for hours, and they shook their heads. "Poor Ethan," they whispered. "He works like time does not exist. He will never survive in a world like this." As years passed, the town changed. Speed became the new religion. A large furniture factory opened nearby. It was a massive gray building that pumped smoke into the sky. Inside, machines produced hundreds of tables and chairs a day. They were cheap, they were shiny, they were instant. Why wait 3 months for Ethan to craft a table when you could buy one today for half the price? Slowly, Ethan's customers disappeared. The bell on his door stopped ringing. The orders in his ledger faded away. One rainy Tuesday afternoon, Ethan sat alone in his silent workshop. The rain drummed heavily on the tin roof. The smell of cold dust filled the air. He looked at his tools idle on the wall. He looked at his empty hands. For the first time, the silence did not feel peaceful. It felt lonely. It felt like failure. A dark thought crept into his mind. "Maybe they are right," he whispered. "Maybe patience is not a virtue. Maybe it is just weakness." Needing to escape his own thoughts, he put on his coat and walked out into the storm. He walked towards the river that cut through the valley. The river was Ethan's old friend. It moved steadily, swollen with rain, neither rushing nor stopping. Sitting by the riverbank was Thomas, a wise, retired fisherman who had watched this water for 80 years. Ethan sat beside him, the wet grass soaking his boots. "Thomas," he said, his voice trembling, "I feel like I am drowning. Everyone else is running ahead, and I am standing still. I think I am being left behind." Thomas kept his eyes on the water. He pointed a shaking finger at a large, smooth stone rising from the riverbed. "Ethan," Thomas said softly, "look at that rock. It is smooth. It is beautiful. How did it become that way?" "The water shaped it," Ethan replied. "Yes," Thomas nodded, "but did the water shape it by hitting it with a hammer? Did it shape it in a day? No." "The water is soft," Thomas continued. "It has no force. And yet, over time, the soft water conquers the hard stone." A river that rushes creates a flood. It destroys its banks, but a steady river creates life. Do not confuse speed with strength, my son. What is built fast falls fast. What lasts is always built slowly. Those words planted a seed of strength in Ethan's soul. He returned to his workshop. He did not change his pace. He worked carefully, even when the townspeople laughed. Then winter came, and with it, a crisis. The main bridge connecting the town to the city began to groan. It had been rebuilt only 2 years earlier by a fast construction firm. They had promised speed, and they delivered, but they used cheap nails and unseasoned wood. Now it was rotting. The bridge was dying. The mayor was desperate. The storms were approaching. With no other choice, the council came to Ethan. "Ethan," the mayor said anxiously, "we need you to rebuild the bridge, but we need it done in 2 weeks." Ethan looked at the plans. He took a slow breath. "I can build your bridge," he said calmly, "but not in 2 weeks." "We do not have time," the mayor shouted. "If you want a bridge for 2 years," Ethan said, "find someone else. If you want a bridge for your grandchildren, give me 2 months." Reluctantly, they agreed. For the next 2 months, Ethan worked under pressure. People drove by and honked. "Hurry up," they shouted. Ethan felt their anger. But every time he picked up his hammer, he remembered the river. "Steady," he told himself. He used wood hard as iron. He did not use nails that would rust. He used complex joints that locked together. He poured his soul into every beam. Finally, the bridge was finished. It was solid. It smelled of strength. That very night, the worst storm in 50 years struck the valley. The wind howled like a beast. The river rose violently. The townspeople huddled in their homes, terrified. They were certain that when the sun rose, the bridge would be gone. When the morning light broke through the gray clouds, the town ran to the river. Fences were destroyed, roofs were stripped away. But there, standing across the swollen river, was the bridge. It had not moved an inch. It stood firm. It stood silent. The rushing water crashed against its pillars, but the patience of the carpenter held back the fury of the storm. The crowd gathered in silence. The mayor took off his hat. The people who had mocked Ethan stared in awe at what true quality looked like. Ethan did not come out to celebrate. He was back in his workshop, sweeping sawdust from the floor, tired but at peace. He understood what the modern world had forgotten. Success is not about arriving first. Success is about standing tall when the storms come. So, my friend, think about your own life. Do you give up because results do not come instantly? Do you rush your healing, your growth, or your dreams because you are afraid of being slow? Remember Ethan. Remember the river. A fast world will always pressure you to hurry, but the things that last are built slowly. Your patience is not a delay, it is your strength. You are not late, you are not failing. You are simply building a foundation strong enough to carry the weight of your future.